I had a dream last night. A very subtle, very understated dream involving a dragon and a kitten. I'm sure you can't imagine who was who. The dragon was enormous, scales, wings, the whole dramatic package, and he was doing his best to look terrifying. Keyword, trying. Because the kitten kept following him around, batting at his tail, climbing onto his back and curling up on his hoard like she owned the place. The dragon huffed smoke. The kitten sneezed at it. The dragon tried to roar. The kitten yawned. The dragon attempted to guard his treasure. The kitten curled up right on top of it and fell asleep. And the worst part? The dragon let her, willingly, happily, like he'd been waiting for her to do it. At one point, the kitten headbutted his snout, and the dragon made a noise that was definitely not dignified. A rumble, a purr, a complete surrender. So yes, kitten, I dreamed I was a dragon. You were a menace with whiskers. And even in my subconscious, you had me wrapped around your tiny, adorable paw. Kitten, you really shouldn't look at me like that when we're arguing. You think you're intimidating, all sharp words and blazing eyes. But all it does is make my pulse jump in ways I'm definitely not admitting out loud. You came at me with that ferocity of yours, chin lifted, voice tight, absolutely refusing to back down. And I should have been annoyed. I should have matched your fire with my own. Instead, all I could think was how stunning you are when you're furious. Every step you took toward me, I felt it. Every word you threw, I caught. And somewhere in the middle of all that heat, something shifted, the kind of shift where the air gets too thick, too warm, too charged to pretend it's just an argument anymore. You got close, too close, close enough that I could feel your breath, see the way your hands trembled with adrenaline, watch the spark in your eyes flicker into something else entirely. And then suddenly we weren't fighting. Not really. We were just pulled together by the same fire we were trying to throw at each other. A tangle of limbs, stubborn pride burning away into something sharper, hotter, impossible to resist. Now you're here, curled against me, both of us still catching our breath from a battle that ended in a satisfying truce. And I'm thinking, very seriously, that we might need to argue more often, purely for research purposes. So, I found your photo stash. Not the cute ones you pretend are the only ones you take. No, the real collection. The one hidden in that folder you thought I'd never notice. And kitten, you've caught me in every possible situation. Clothed, half-clothed, not clothed enough to be polite. Some of those angles should be illegal. Some of those moments I didn't even know you were in the room for. You're stealthier than Mephisto on a mission. I should be scandalized. I should lecture you. I should at least pretend to be offended. But instead, I'm flattered, deeply, dangerously, to the point where I've started printing them. Yes, printing them, framing them, putting them up around the house like a very biased art exhibit. Luke saw one and nearly walked into a wall. Kieran asked if I'd finally lost my mind. Mephisto perched on top of a shirtless photo and squawked like he was judging my life choices. Do I care? Not even slightly. Because you took them. Because you wanted to keep those moments. Because every shot, even the ones where I'm barely decent, has that look in your eyes behind it. That focus, that hunger, that affection you think you hide so well. So go on, keep taking them, keep pretending you're subtle. I'll keep finding them and displaying them and maybe giving you a few more opportunities to capture something worth framing. I've realized something about you, something important, scientific even. I've discovered I have favorite sounds you make, And yes, I've been keeping a list. First, the way you sigh in your sleep. Not the dramatic ones, the tiny ones. Those soft little exhales that happen when you roll closer and tuck yourself against me like you're trying to steal my warmth. Those sounds could calm a storm. They make me feel like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Then there's the sound you make when you taste something you really like. That quiet hum of delight, the one you insist you don't do. Kitten, please. You could bring a grown man to his knees with that noise. I make you food just to hear it. I'd make you anything just to hear it. And then there are the other sounds, the ones you make when you're overwhelmed, when you're holding on to me, when everything gets hot and breathless and you forget to be shy. I won't describe them, not here, but you know exactly which ones I mean. Those are the sounds that live in the back of my mind, the ones that make my pulse jump just remembering them, the ones that make me want to pull you closer every time you whisper my name. But my favorite sound of all, your laugh, the real one, the one you try to hide when I tease you, the one that slips out anyway. It's bright, unguarded, and it hits me harder than any of the others, because it means you're happy. With me, because of me. So yes, kitten, I have favorite sounds. All of them yours, all of them dangerous in their own way. And I plan to keep collecting them, one quiet moment at a time. Hello? You've reached Kitten's phone. She can't come to the line right now because well, let's just say she's otherwise occupied and leave the details to your imagination. Trust me, your imagination is probably kinder than the truth. If you're calling about something urgent, I'll make sure she gets the message. Eventually. Probably. Assuming it's interesting enough to repeat. If you're calling to bother her with nonsense, please hang up, rethink your life choices, and try again when you've regained your senses. If you're Luke or Kieran, no, you cannot borrow her. No, she is not available for just a second. And no, I'm not passing along whatever chaos you're planning. If you're Mephisto, stop calling the phone. You don't even have fingers. Please leave a message after the beep. Or don't. I'll judge you either way. Beep. Kitten. The moment your friends knocked and you hissed, hide, I knew I was about to experience a uniquely humiliating ordeal. My first attempt was behind your curtains, which would have worked if your curtains weren't sheer. I stood there for 3 full seconds before realizing I looked like a very confused shadow puppet and abandoned the plan. Next, I tried crouching behind your kitchen island. Except your island is really just a glorified cutting board with legs. I bent down, tried to make myself small, which is impossible, by the way, and immediately smacked my head on the counter. Loudly. You covered it with a cough. Barely. And then I heard it. The sentence that nearly made me reveal myself out of sheer indignation. Why is she being so cagey? You think she's hiding a guy in here? Another voice. Maybe. I bet he's some soft, artsy type, whatever she usually goes for. Kitten. I almost stood up. I almost introduced myself. I almost said, hello, yes, the soft, artsy type is currently folded behind your microwave cart like a tragic origami project. But I stayed hidden, barely, contemplating every decision that led me to this moment. When they finally left and you freed me, I unfolded myself like a resurrected cryptid and stared at you in silence for a full 10 seconds. Grab what you need, kitten. We're staying at my place. Kitten, you do realize you're pocket-sized, yes? Not metaphorically, functionally. A creature so compact I can scoop you up with one arm and keep walking like nothing happened. It's one of my favorite things about you, even when you're being, let's call it, spirited. You can wiggle, protest, insist you're perfectly capable of walking on your own. But it doesn't change the fact that you fit against me like you were designed for it. And the moment you start getting difficult, all I have to do is lift you, effortlessly, and suddenly the world is quiet again. Well, except for your indignant noises. Those I enjoy. There's something endlessly satisfying about having you tucked against my chest, arms around my neck, pretending you're not secretly enjoying it. You're small enough to carry, stubborn enough to challenge me, and adorable enough that I let you think you're winning. Don't worry, I'll put you down eventually.